Hey, it's Marthea Pitts, the MSW coach. And I am going live to talk about 3 reasons why career clarity is so important. And it's most likely the reason why you are experiencing some of the issues you're having in your career. Hey, I'm just typing a comment. That's why you're looking at the top of my forehead. But give me a moment to type it. Drop in the chat where you're logging in from. City, state, country, wherever you are logging in from, and whatever you're comfortable with sharing. And we're going to jump into this because I really want to talk about why career clarity is so important. And one moment. Multitasking, which I don't like. Okay. But you have to wait until you go live to post the comment and pin the comment and do all of the other things. So y'all are dropping y'all cities. I see. I love it. Okay, so we got Mona. Hey, Mona. How you doing? Mona is in Detroit. I'm trying to stand y'all up. Diamond is in New York. Okay, Diamond. Let me see. Did I miss somebody else? I see y'all coming in the room. Hey. Drop in the chat where you're logging in from, what city, what state, what country. Is always helpful for me to see where people are representing and all of the good things. And let's jump into this conversation. I want to share 3 reasons why career clarity is so important and why it's the critical first step that you need to take specifically to get macro jobs. I don't talk about any other jobs other than macro jobs. So, and let's be clear. Macro jobs are typically jobs where you will be the only social worker on staff. There are no other social workers there. So it's always very hard to understand what these jobs look like and all of the things. But before we can start talking about the jobs, the organizations, the job titles, how to write a resume, you have to do a critical first step, which is have clarity around a few different things. What you want your work to look like on a day-to-day basis, and the populations and issues that your work would center on. Mona, I'm well. How are you? I'm wonderful, Mona. I'm wonderful. I've been coaching all afternoon. And this is the last thing on my list. So I wanted to come on and talk to y'all, but thank you for asking. So career clarity, it helps you get a good understanding of what you want your work to look like, the populations and issues that you want your work to center on, which then ultimately helps you figure out where you will find those jobs, how you will position yourself as a top candidate for those jobs, and how you will maintain your competitive edge for future macro jobs after your first one. So career clarity really is the foundational step, and it's a step that a lot of people skip. That's why many macro social workers who didn't come through my program, they get a macro job, most likely in policy, because that's the only area of macro work they know about, because of course it's not, whatever thing, I'm not going to talk about it. They only know about macro work. They get the macro job. It feels hard. Then they retreat back to case management land because that's what they know. But the reason that is because they didn't have enough clarity about what it is they really wanted to do, and just took most likely a policy job because that's all they knew that existed, right? Because they only had a certain amount of career education information available to them. Hence the reason I created the MSW coach. So let's jump into the first reason why career clarity is so important. Having clarity about what you want your work to look like, the populations and issues you want your work to center on, and the types of organizations you want to align yourself with prevents you from being in jobs you don't like. If you're watching this live or watching it on a replay, I'm sure everyone in the chat who watches the replay has experienced a bad job or two, where you're like, how did I end up here? And then what you realize is that I have been here way too long and I don't even like doing this work. If you would have had career clarity, you could have at least found yourself in a position that aligned with some of the things that you said you wanted to do. Or things that you like. So what I teach my career coaching clients is how to blend things that they're passionate about outside of their work life into their career as a way to increase their career satisfaction, because there's been extensive research done on the thing, and the fact is that almost over 50% of master of social work degree holders say they are not satisfied with their jobs. Right? That means, aka, they hate their jobs. I try not to use the word hate, but people use the word, so I'll use the word. And it's because you most likely took either the first job available to you, or you didn't know about what other options were available to you. Mona put a 100. Yes, they don't like their jobs. So when you establish career clarity, again, I'll repeat it, when you are clear about what you want your day-to-day work to look like. So for example, if you are a person, like I always say, that has to be out moving and grooving, you like to talk to different people, you like to network, maybe you like to be in nature, maybe you don't like to be in an office every day, all day, maybe you don't like talking to people and you enjoy doing more of the documentation, research stuff behind the scenes. All of those are things that you got to get clear about, because I'm not sorry. I don't apologize and stuff. That was my gratitude alarm. So it's 8:30. It's my gratitude alarm. So what I was saying was, if you don't like a specific thing and then you end up in a job where you're doing the thing, oh my goodness, y'all passed out. Sorry. So if you don't like a specific thing and then you end up in a job where you don't like a certain thing, you're going to have decreased job satisfaction, right? So when you establish career clarity and you're crystal clear about, this is the only type of work that I want to do. Thanks, Mona. If you're crystal clear about, this is the only type of work that I want to do, it prevents you from even getting and ending up in jobs that you don't like. So that's the first reason why you need career clarity. The second reason is that it saves you time, money, and energy. So let me explain. What is the natural stage of progression when someone doesn't like their job is, and if you have little career information, like if you don't have all of the information to positively navigate your career and pivot into another career, your first thing that you think you need to do to get a better job is get another degree. You think you either need to get another degree, you think you need to get another certification, you think you may need to, I'll even throw in there, like, invest in courses and different things like that, right? And so if you were clear from the beginning about what type of work you wanted to do, it wouldn't then send you on like a duck goose chase, or whatever the word is, like on a egg hunt to try to figure out, okay, well, what do I need? What am I missing? Because I am suffering in my job. I don't like it. So it clearly must mean that I need another degree. When no, the reason you are feeling that way, you're feeling that discomfort, is because you didn't establish career. You didn't have a clear understanding of what you wanted to do from step one. So the second reason why you need to have career clarity is because it will save you time, money, energy, resources, because we all know getting a degree is not a simple process. And I'm not saying don't get a degree, but if your sole reason for getting a degree is to get a better job, you need career clarity. Because ultimately, the truth is, the hard truth, there's a lot of social workers out there, and I've worked with them, met them, talked to them, all the things, with multiple unrelated bachelor's degrees, completely unrelated fields, right? I'm just going to make up some wild stuff. Maybe the bachelor's is in family sciences, and then they have a bachelor's in business, and then they have a 2 master's degrees, one in psychology and another in a master's of social work, and those kind of are too related, but they usually are real extreme differences, right? Those probably weren't the best examples, but they are completely unrelated degrees, and the fact still remains that they are not using them, because even with the MSW degree, a lot of them are trying to figure out how to leave social work altogether. So if you are considering going back to school to get another degree, get another certification, I would strongly suggest to you that before you invest that heavily as far as your time, your money, your energy, that you establish and get clear about what is the goal. Because once you have clarity about what your goal is and what you want your work to look like, you then know how to strategize, because you then know what the requirements are for the job, right? A lot of people don't even know what the requirements are before they sign up for their degree programs. They don't even know what an employer requires. A lot of people are moving based on feelings instead of facts. So that's the second reason. Mona says true. I love it, Mona. Oh, and no worries. Thanks, Mona. And then reason number 3, career clarity prevents you from being all over the place in your job search. And so what I mean by that is, you know how you see people make those posts around, I've applied to 300 jobs in 30 days and haven't gotten a hit. Or I've applied to 400 jobs and 500 jobs in 2 months and haven't gotten a hit. Most likely, and I'm just saying this from the standpoint of like the social workers that I've worked with, taught with, all of the things, is because they didn't have a job search strategy. And it was because they weren't clear about the types of jobs they wanted. So a simplistic example of that is, I'm just making this up, they were applying to research jobs, right? But using their resume they were applying, let's say they were applying for like a research job around children and families, non-medical topics. But they were using their medical social work resume to apply for the jobs. Of course, you're not going to get a hit, because on your medical social work resume, you're talking about conducting biopsychosocial exams. You're talking about billing and health insurance. You're talking about sitting in patient meetings where you're updating about bed utilization rates. That is completely unrelated to research on a topic related to child welfare. And the reason is because you or whomever, we're talking in generals, were not clear about what the goal was to then only target jobs that fall within that category and then to tailor your resume to meet it. So as an example, with career clarity, if you decided that I am only going to apply for philanthropic jobs with dealing with children and families and making certain that they have adequate access to housing, and that the organizations that serve children and family regarding housing have the funding they need to serve a mass number of people, right? That means that if that is the goal, you should only be searching for philanthropic jobs with philanthropy organizations that do work around providing funding to community-based organizations that work with people in housing. Hey, Dr. Price, how you doing? And so if you're applying to what I just said, research children and families, or whatever the example was, that's why you're all over the place, right? And then it then will lead to your resume not being tailored to housing, children, donations, fundraising. So before you can even get to finding jobs to target or tailoring your resume, you first have to get clear about what is the goal. What do you want your work to look like? What types of organizations, because there's more than one organization type out there under the macro umbrella. I just gave you one, philanthropy organizations, right? All of the things I teach my coaching clients. You have to be able to identify the goal and then do the steps to get there. So I've shared with you 3 reasons why career clarity is so important. I overemphasized at the beginning about what career clarity is, but I'm going to recap the 3 reasons. It prevents you from being in jobs you don't like. It saves you time, money, and energy from like going to get additional degrees, certifications, and licenses that you don't need. I can't tell you the number of social workers I've talked to just since the beginning of this new year who have gotten all of these additional credentials and don't even want to use them. That's because they weren't clear about the goal in the beginning. So they were just trying to get things to get a better job, and they're not even using it. So that's wasted money, thousands and thousands of dollars, hours and hours of time, lots of heartache and pain that they didn't even have to go through if they would have had career clarity. The third reason is it prevents you from being all over the place in your job search. When you have clarity about what the goal is, you then can find the jobs and then create a resume that appeals to that employer type to call you in for an interview. So then you won't be like, people out on the internet. It's like, I applied to 300 jobs. But if you looked at the jobs they applied to, 99% of the time, they are all completely unrelated jobs. They're not even in the same field. They're not in the same industry. They're just all over the place. They were just hit and apply to everything. So career clarity really, truly is the first step to your job search. If you want to start moving in more alignment, if you want to start getting in jobs where you are really, truly doing the work that you are passionate about, if you want purpose-driven work, you have to get clear about what that is. And so that's why this Saturday coming up, I'm offering a workshop where I'm going to do a hands-on masterclass, the thing that I actually do inside of my full group career coaching program. I'm going to be guiding you through the process of getting clarity about what you want to do using my framework. I've used it to help over 135 plus social workers pivot into macro social work. But everybody's work starts at this first step of let's get clear on the goals so we then can create an individualized game plan to get you the job you say you want. So if you want to attend the masterclass, it's going to be 3 hours long because I'm going to be providing you with hands-on hot seat coaching. No one will leave the call until you have a clearly laid out plan and understanding of how to establish a clarity in your career. And I'm going to make certain that everyone has what they need. So if you want to attend the Career Clarity Masterclass, I encourage you to click the link in the bio. It's this Saturday. Registration will end on Tuesday. I only had it open for 7 days. People have already been registering. But this is the critical first step. And you don't have to be a social worker to attend. I help other professions get clarity all of the time. And once you get clarity, everything else will fall into place because then you have the goal established. All right, so I'm going to end it there. I'm going to wrap up my day because I've been coaching all day, but I wanted to come on and give y'all that. And I'll talk to you next time. Happy macro career planning. Bye.